What up, what up, what up? It's Ray V. Let's get it.
Sad boy.
Sad boy quote of the day.
F ain't for feels, it's for fantasies. So let's get into our deepest fantasies, baby. I'll give you a third for him, though.
Comment section. PJ Redacted ask, is Beck before the 4th round a danger pick? This was my final re-rankings video before the NFL draft, so I just said that pre-draft it was more like a YOLO dart throw, hoping he lands in a good spot to be a backup QB or maybe a future bridge quarterback. But after the draft, I've seen some boards, and he is going in the 2nd or 3rd round in rookie drafts, mostly the 2nd. It's pretty crazy out there, everyone, or superflex leagues, everyone just, got the value of QBs, and they push them all the way up. It's pretty crazy. I thought I pushed them up a lot, but, these people are pushing them even higher. PJ Redacted also asked, so would you say we only need a 1st and a 2nd to fleece our way into the 101? This is my video when I reacted to the 1st round of the NFL draft. I was just saying that I hated it for the Cardinals, more so than because it didn't make sense NFL wise, not really fantasy wise. I would say that the Cardinals are a better landing spot than the Titans, honestly. So unfortunately, his price probably has risen. But for today's video, we're just going to do 5 biggest winners and 5 biggest losers of the NFL draft, through a superflex Dynasty fantasy football lens. So let's get into it. So we'll start with our winners. We'll go in descending order. So at number 5, I got Jadarian Price. Just found out his name is Jadarian, not Jadarian. My bad, Brody. I formally apologize for my lapse of judgment. To be fair, a lot of other people were also saying Jadarian. So that's what I thought. My fault. But he, being a 1st round pick, he was the 32nd pick of the 1st round and one of the Seahawks' only 4 picks. They only had 4 picks that entire draft. So being a 1st round pick gives the Seahawks that ever so valuable extra contract year in a rookie option. Price will be locked into his rookie rates until the 2029 season, with that 2030 season eligible for his rookie option. Charbonnet is also not expected back until late October to November. Price will have the whole offseason to just simply beat out Emmanuel Wilson, a body and a plotter. And then, the first few weeks he will be auditioning for the RB1 role, essentially, with Charbonnet being out. It is entirely possible that the Seahawks don't even re-sign Charbonnet after the season unless he takes a team-friendly deal. Price should have value beyond this year, with numerous chances to rise even higher in value. Number 4, we got David Montgomery. Monty was able to avoid any backfield competition through the NFL draft. He should only have to compete with Woody Marks, and they are already being penciled in as a 1-2 punch backfield with Monty as the 1. If you didn't know or realize, Joe Mixon is off the team. Sources say he allegedly shot himself in the foot, metaphorically and physically. His grinder role between the 20s and touches within the 5 are almost guaranteed for David Montgomery. The Texans also have already made some moves to shore up their offensive line as well. Monty should be, he should thrive even more than he did on the Lions consistently, though the offense of the Lions is probably stronger, probably better, so his ceiling, ironically, would be higher, or was higher on the Lions. He's also signed a 2-year deal, so, he could be a sneaky buy low for contending teams if your league mates just, think he's a veteran, think he's old, think he's, about to hit his expiration date. At 3, we got Rashee Rice. Rice somehow survives another offseason of controversy and was already set to start the regular season just fine. Now he avoids any competent wide receiver competition through the draft as well. This is very significant because the Chiefs were mocked to take a weapon in Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson if the opportunity presented itself after signing Kenneth Walker this offseason. But the Chiefs even traded up to number 6 and had Jordan Tyson right in front of them, but they decided to go elsewhere. They may not have a chance at a top wide receiver next draft. So this is somewhat showing a vote of confidence in Rice and his future with the team. I'm still kind of speculative though, because he was asking for that JSN money like a month ago. So I don't know. I feel like he's gonna be about it, and I don't see the Chiefs paying him out. So that's tough. But for now, he looks like a dynasty asset for this year and the next. At number 2, I got Cam Ward. Ward was already looking like a winner this offseason when the Titans added guard Cordell Volson, center Austin Schlottman, and a receiver Wan'Dale Robinson. But during the draft, they added Carnell Tate at 4th overall, a legitimate number 1 weapon for Ward. They also added another lineman in the 5th. So, as someone who was sacked 55 times as a rookie, the improvement for the O-line and receiving core should keep his jersey cleaner cleaner than last season. Ward is definitely trending up. His weapons are up, his O-line is up, so he's looking up and looks to mightily improve off his rookie season. And as the number 1 winner of the NFL draft, I got Tyler Shough. Shough definitely won the draft. With Kellen Moore as his coach, the Saints' MO is strictly fast offense. Last season, they averaged 2.2 plays per minute, the fastest offensive pace last season. With the draft, they added so many offensive weapons, with Jordan Tyson at 8 overall being the headliner. They also added receiving tight end Oscar Delp, wide receiver Bryce Lance, and speedy wide receiver Barian Brown, probably in hope to somewhat replace and or replicate what Rashid Shaheed provided early in the season last season. The Saints themselves should be on the up and up next season, but this fast-paced system and new offensive weapons will definitely add to Shough's success this upcoming season. I threw in an honorable mention here, Cam Scatterbo. Scatterbo survived the rumors and the draft. He didn't get Jeremiah Love bombed, and they failed to add anyone in the draft as well. At running back, there is still a chance that they add someone like Joe Mixon or a late-day veteran running back cut when camp starts. But as of right now, take your W. You won, Scatterbo. You got me. We are on to the losers now. So at number 5, I got Ricky Pearsall. Albeit mostly injured, Pearsall hasn't flashed heavily on the field fantasy-wise. Pearsall looked to take on a bigger role this season, with Kittle recovering from his Achilles and all the wide receiver departures like Bourne, Juwan, Ayuk, ? I don't know what's up with Ayuk. But the Niners then added Mike Evans, and Pearsall's value and predicted production already started to dip. Now the Niners have added wide receiver Deshaun Stribling with the 33rd overall pick. I'm even hearing that the Niners were okay with taking him as early as the 30th pick, if not the 27th pick, if they weren't able to trade back twice. So that's sus. Stribling is a highly invested in wide receiver, so he doesn't even have to usurp Pearsall's role in order to really hurt him or his production or his value. The Niners will definitely scheme plays up for him and make him the focal point at times, as well as Purdy being able to spread the ball around, to Stribling, to Pearsall, to Mike Evans, to Jake Tongas, to McCaffrey. Just the competent receivers now are just in the way. Before, right when the offseason started, it was just Pearsall and McCaffrey. That's a 50-50. 60-40 towards McCaffrey. That's a good target, pie share for Pearsall. But now it's divvied up, even smaller. So, we'll see. It's not looking good for Pearsall. This just means Pearsall's target share, like I was saying, will lessen, meaning he will have to rely on efficiency to remain valuable this season and his following seasons. At 4, I got R.J. Harvey. As a Harvey truther, I want to say this was expected, and it does not hurt at all. But it hurts, at least a little bit. J.K. Dobbins coming back signaled that they might, that maybe Harvey would be safe in the draft and might even take on a bigger complementary role since, Dobbins would be coming back from his Liz Frank injury. The Broncos selected Jonah Coleman in the 4th round at 108, though. Coleman is a legit, efficient, early down grinder back who should take Dobbins' role probably quite easily. You don't want to count out J.K. Dobbins. Every injury he's had, he's always come back, but I don't know. Coleman's pretty nice. One of the better running backs in that second, third tier. Coleman is also a capable receiver out of the backfield and has elite ball security. Two things that Harvey was thriving on last season. Harvey did fumble one time, or had a fumble lost one time last season, all season long, and he was immediately benched the next drive by Sean Payton. He said, "You're sitting on that bench until you know what this ball means." Sean Payton, one of those old school coaches, thinks that'll do something. He still put him in the following drive, so I don't know how much that really meant to him. But this means that Coleman has a chance to have the Dobbins role from last year. Plus he could have the chance to be eating into Harvey's workload as well. Harvey is looking at an uphill battle to retain any of his juice that he had last season. At 3, I got Zach Charbonnet, basically what I said for Jadarian Price, but for Charbonnet. I tried not to double up these lists too hard with the exact counter, but Charbonnet is definitely in a tough spot here. That's why I threw him on here. He's recovering from his ACL as well. his ACL, and he's most likely not going to be anywhere near the same for a full calendar year after he hits the NFL field. So if he comes back in October, he's probably not going to be anywhere near the same till the following October in 2027. That's just how the numbers work most of the time, unless you're a freak unicorn recovery beast, Adrian Peterson style, something like that. Jason Tatum in basketball right now. He's back with that's an Achilles, but he's freak of nature, unicorn. I don't know how he's back. That's pretty crazy. But that means Charbonnet, his contract year, he's on his contract year this year, and the Seahawks will definitely use that against him in contract negotiations. He will either sign for the low, or a 1-year prove-it deal, or even leave to another team for more money. We don't know if he will be as good or as efficient on another offensive scheme, or if Seattle's run game is just really what made him. Charbonnet will have little chance to prove himself this year, on his contract year. At 2, I got Chris Olave. This one kind of aligns with the Tyler Shuck one, but whatever, I got to talk about somebody else. I got me some Olave in a league or two, and Jordan Tyson definitely scares me. Tyson has the ability to jump Olave in the pecking order as early as this season. Olave hasn't had true wide receiver competition since college days, and we saw that he wasn't the number one in that setting. Saints may just have to make it a point to feed and scheme more for Tyson as well in order to justify using the 8th overall pick on him. There's a chance Olave is able to hold off Tyson for some time, and I would use this time to get out and sell while the name value and production from last season are still there. Get out while you're ahead, y'all. And the number 1 biggest loser I got is Harold Fannin Jr. Fannin thrived last season. It didn't even matter who his quarterback was, but he thrived because the Browns sucked. They didn't have any weapons besides him and Njoku, just using them in 2 tight end sets. And I guess if you want to count Jerry Jeudy, you can count him, but I know for a fact Steve Smith Sr. is not counting him. Definitely not counting him. The Browns also seen their lack of weapons, their lack of offensive power they had, so they decided to add Casey Concepcion in the first round at 24th overall and Denzel Boston at 39th overall in the second. They didn't even add a Kenyon Sadiq or something, a competent tight end to fight Fannin at his own position, but adding competent wide receivers definitely hurts his PPR prowess. Having more bodies around the field to catch balls and spread the offense around definitely hurts Fannin's floor, but might raise his ceiling, ironically, if the offense starts to thrive. The real winner for the Browns wouldn't even be like whoever the QB ends up being, Deshaun Watson, Taylon Green, I think it was Taylon Green who went over there, or Shedeur Sanders. It would be Quinshon Judkins, if we're being for real. And my honorable mention loser of the draft is Tyler Algier. I just wanted to throw him on here because as a rookie, he rushed for 1,000 yards on the Falcons, only for those same Falcons to draft Bijan Robinson at 8 overall the following offseason. Now, Algier finally escaped the Bijaning and found refuge in the lowly running back room for the Cardinals with no Achilles, James Conner, and Trey Benson, who might have seen him on a milk carton, Trey Benson. But, he thought he had a chance and he was doing something, signing with the Cardinals. Look at this room. I can do it. I can be him again. Only to get Jeremiah Love bombed and nuking his potential value. Sorry, Tyler Algier. At least you still got your rookie year to look back on. He had more rushing yards your rookie year than Bijan's rookie year. You broke 1,000. He didn't. I believe he had 976. So, hey, that's what's up. Hope y'all like the new intro and the newest setup. I just moved my camera away from the window. It's experimented time, y'all. But hopefully y'all really liked my top 5 winners and losers of the NFL draft. These videos are fun to make, and should really get you thinking about the value of players and wanting to hop in those Dynasty DMs. I know it definitely is making me want to hop in them DMs. But don't forget your daily dose of send that trade. Send it. Send it. That's it for today, though. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, rebuilds fade, dynasties reign.
Call me a lover boy, simp, Libra. It's more than lovesick, I got a fever. Feelings overloading, not to be a diva. Standing 10 toes down, I'm not gonna leave you.